All right. Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
Welcome
hello.
to this evening's presentation. We'll let it go for a few more minutes to let people come in, and then we will start. Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. It's pretty nice out from what I saw when I was out before. And yeah,
Yeah, it was beautiful. And yesterday was gorgeous too.
hmm yep. Looks like we're having another stretch of good weather.
Yes,
We
which
get
is
outside
lovely.
and do some stuff.
And hopefully, as long as it doesn't rain for Halloween, that'll be very nice.
Yeah, yeah. I think my daughter would be shouldn't be that broken up. They're going out trick or treating, but she's also having a sleepover that night. So,
Oh, because
you
it's on
know,
a Friday, right? That's a
yeah,
nice,
yeah,
that's, whoa.
they don't have to be up for school in the morning or anything like that. So if they want to stay out late, they can, and then they can come back here and do whatever. So,
Oh,
all
that'll be
right,
nice. And then all that candy. Woo.
yeah, yeah. Tell me about it. Um, okay, I think we should start.
Okay.
Pat, if you want to introduce our,
Yeah, no, I do. I want to welcome all of you, and I want to introduce Larissa Brookes, who has graciously put this all together. She is the current chair of the Sustainability and Resilience section of NJLA, New Jersey Library Association. And Larissa, I am going to turn it over to you and thank you to your team of presenters. I'm really looking forward to this.
Um, Thank you so much, Pat, and also Bob, and also to the trustees who are here. I'm really excited about this presentation and so grateful for the four people who are going to be speaking about what their libraries do. So I am going to start sharing our slides so you can see who we'll be speaking with tonight. We have Adele Puccio from the Maurice M. Public Library, which is in Fairlawn. Sarah Dziunycz, I'm sorry, I did so well earlier. Dziunycz, Head of Youth Services at the Vogelson branch at Camden County Library System, and Melissa Hozik from East Brunswick Public Library, Kim Dorman from the Princeton Public Library, and Larissa M from the Fort Lee Public Library, and also featuring some New Jersey native plants. Some of the drawings are not perfect. I confess I did use AI to do them because I didn't have to worry about violating copyright or anything like that. So, but they're pretty accurate. So today we're going to be you might have noticed that this was called Sustainability 102 because you had kind of Sustainability 101 last year with Michelle Stricker. And I include a link and an embedded video for that later on in these slides, which of course everyone will be able to get either both the PDF and the live version because we do have a lot of links here. I am really grateful to be able to speak to library trustees because you are responsible for your library's futures and for figuring out the priorities and what matters to your community and juggling all of these issues. And you'll be able to hear from librarians about how sustainability is more than the right thing to do. It's also hugely popular and often it is free. So we'll be going through what is sustainability, a quick little overview of that, why libraries should be sustainable, what the Sustainable Libraries Initiative is, how New Jersey libraries are being sustainable. That's when we'll hear from our speakers and from New Jersey library directors and staff. And then we'll also talk about some supports that are out there for you reaching or incorporating sustainability for your library. So sustainability, you can see this right here. It's the ability to meet our current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Another way of looking at this is the glass half empty, which is Earth Overshoot Day. And that's the day that the Earth officially has used up all of the resources that would take an entire year to replenish, or the amount of greenhouse gases that they've already hit the quota by July 25th. Last year was July 25th. If you look at what each look at it by country, it's even like the United States is something like March 15th. So just in like mid-March, that's when we've used up everything that we really should be waiting until December 31st to be using up. So the Sustainable Libraries Initiative, the American Library Association, and NJLA follow the widely accepted triple bottom line definition of sustainability. And that is 3 priorities that are held to in 3 considerations that you're going to be looking at when you're making a decision. And that is, are the practices environmentally sound, or is the decision environmentally sound, economically feasible, and socially equitable? And here we have an Eastern white pine, which I really like. So this kind of decision-making system is also called the people, planet, and profit approach. And it started in about the 1980s or so with the UN, and there when they started thinking about sustainable development goals. So you can see that little magical pale green, I don't know what you call that shape right there, that's where all of these 3 priorities all converge to get to you, like help you make that right decision. And here we have a white oak. And so these are all trees and plants that are native to New Jersey. So here's why libraries should be sustainable. So all of these associations, including the International Federation of Library Associations and many more organizations, people, businesses, and institutions, recognize sustainability as a core value. In fact, you might have noticed what a B Corporation is, and that is another certification that for-profit businesses can apply for, and that also includes sustainability. Maybe you get King Arthur flour or Bombas socks. Those are both B corporations. So, and then also, what's a core value? I mean, if sustainability is a core value, what does that mean? It's a factor we agree to consider in every decision that we make. So we don't think of it as a side. It's not something that is just in the back of our minds. It's something that's in the forefront of our minds. And why is this a core value now? It's because our communities need us. The communities that libraries serve need us now. This is such an overused term, but now more than ever, when we have extreme weather, we serve as not just warming spots, but as cooling locations too, in the summertime when it's really dangerous to be outside, and not just because of the heat, but because of fires. I mean, just last year, the Palisades fires, that was even inside the library, we could smell the ash. Again, deadly heat, food insecurity. There are a lot of libraries that have programs on, they have seed libraries for different types of seed libraries, but to be able to have your own garden is one of those ideas. A lot of libraries also run food pantries or have free lunches for kids in the summertime. So that's another way that libraries are really working for their communities. And also pandemics. I don't think COVID, I mean, it wasn't great, but it doesn't seem like that would be the last time we're going to be having an illness like that to worry about. But the good news is that libraries are inherently sustainable. We're already on the sustainability road because we reuse, borrow, and lend materials to our community members. We're already reusing stuff. We already are part of that reuse, reduce, recycle triangle. Oh, and we have a sweet birch tree. Birch trees, I think birch trees. Oak trees are my favorite, but birch trees are second. So I have Pat here. This was your presentation last year. So you're going to have a link to that in these slides. And I also want to make a big plug for the Sustainable Libraries Initiative, which you've probably all heard of, you might know about. That is a nationwide, well, now it's an international organization that helps libraries and university libraries and also school librarians achieve sustainability. And they really lay it out in a very easy way. And they guide you through these steps. They use the triple bottom line approach, and they really, it's a wonderful resource. It started in the Hudson Valley maybe 10 years or so ago. And now they're working with, I mean, Rebecca Smith Aldrich, the one of the co-founders. I know she's been at least to Dublin recently to talk about the SLI, the Sustainable Libraries Initiative. And extra benefit is that the SLI has collaborated with a lot of state library associations, like the New Jersey Library Association, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Virginia, a lot more. They're always adding one new library associations every year or so. And what that does is it allows everyone who's a member of that library association to have a free year's membership in the Sustainable Libraries Initiative. So you get to see what resources are available there, what help is there when and if your library decides to join the certification process, because then the certification process that's a long road, but libraries do it all the time, and if you subscribe to their newsletter, you'll find out just how many libraries are doing this, and you also get to see what their reports are. But even after your first year, membership is $50, so you can keep up your membership there. If your library joins the certification program, you also will be able to access all of those materials then too. So after you join, you do get a little call with an SLI staff member who can explain all of the things that are there and how to work through, because it is a lot of material that you get access to. And if you don't talk to your person there at the Sustainable Libraries Initiative, there is a video too that is pretty recent, like when the Virginia Library Association joined, when they had their collaboration. So about tonight's presentation, the Sustainability and Resilience section of NJLA asked library directors and staff members across New Jersey what kinds of environmentally oriented programs they were doing. And we use the word environmental because I wanted to stay really clear and be without having to define the word sustainability, but people do use the terms interchangeably. So we got back 54 responses, which I was really excited about, but then I saw there 1,300 libraries in New Jersey, but still it was pretty great that people took that many people took the time to respond. So the most common sustainable item or sustainable initiative that libraries are engaged in right now is that they have a library of things. So they have collections of electronics, of yard equipment, games, things like that people can borrow. And this is really heartening. I love this idea that 43% have native plantings on their grounds, which is really, I love this idea because not only are you making your library, the landscaping more sustainable, you're reducing the amount of water required, you're reducing the amount of maintenance required. You're also supporting pollinators, you're supporting native wildlife right there. And you're also showing the public what's possible at your library. You're showing this is something that you can do at your home or on your balcony or in a planter. And then 45% offer a lecture series on topics relating to the environment, and you'll hear people talking about those tonight. And then about 35% hold sustainable crafting programs. And other ways that libraries incorporate sustainability, these are some other things that people mentioned that they did. Well, first of all, we have library operations. Are libraries being sustainable in the way that they operate the organization? Do they pay their staff at the NJLA minimum or more than that? There are libraries that have rain barrels that collect water to water their landscaping with. Some of them have smart HVAC and lighting, but you can see the other things that, so these really demonstrate the three considerations of the triple bottom line. Other things, and you'll hear about these, are plant swaps, community collaborations, repair cafes, and really there are so many more. And when you join the Sustainable Libraries Initiative, you're going to hear about, there's so many webinars and there's so much information. It's like you want to do all of these things. There's some really great ideas out there. And this one, we have some sedge, so we have grasses here, which, it's important to have grasses. So I think I've been talking for long enough, and I would like to introduce Adele. She's the director of the Maurice M. Public Library in Fair Lawn, and you might have seen her on the Today Show or in the New Yorker talking about probably one of the most well-known swaps out there. But I am going to just mute myself now, and thank you very much. So take it away, Adele.
Hi, everyone. We are not the most sustainable building, being that the building is from the mid-60s and needs a lot of upgrades, but we try our best in a lot of other areas. Right now, we're running a costume swap that is in conjunction with a community group called Little Citizens, and the costumes will be collected and distributed in Newark to a shelter in Newark. In the past, they've been given to people in...
Reference may help you. Reference may help you.
Oh, I think that here.
That's not me.
I think
So we've had numerous different types of collections and swaps over the years. I joined the library in 2016, and in 2017, our amazing children's librarian Kate Navs, who does very big projects, started a clothing swap. There was one for children. And then later on, we did one for women's clothing, and anything that is left or anything that is collected is usually given to charity. Every year, we partner with the local Knights of Pythias to collect coats, and those go out to Jersey Cares and are distributed through Jersey Cares, and we collect hundreds. We're one of the biggest collection sites. And other swaps that we've done and collections, like right now we're doing a battery collection with someone from the high school, and he's doing that to make sure that people learn that there are the right ways and wrong ways to dispose of batteries. Our biggest collection obviously has been the wedding gowns. Over the past few years, we have received hundreds, if not thousands, of wedding dresses. We've given away to brides at least 25 a month. And it is a huge project, a huge undertaking. There were a lot of dresses that you would think wouldn't be usable again, but I learned how to do some of the restoration work, and I have a volunteer who has come in and re-sewn gowns. If I take the buttons off so that I can soak them and clean them and whatnot, she puts them back together. She has done alterations for some of the brides who've come in who might need their dress right away. We've been very lucky with that. So if a dress is not usable, we will try to do something else with it, whether it's going into a fabric collection for reusable fabrics. We've given some of the dresses to the Instagram dress restorers like Amy for the Love of Dresses, Barbara Scolati, and a local person in Maplewood, Maybell NYC, the lovely Christine Carlson. She takes them and reworks them to make them into a more modern dress with a retro flair. We've donated them to organizations that collect for people overseas. We had one woman come in and ask if she could have some to send to Poland, so I thought that was pretty neat. And it's an exhausting program, I will say that. It's been very, very steady for over 2 years, but it's getting to be too much. And last year we wound up with a lot of bridesmaid and mother of the bride dresses. Most of those were given to a formal wear collection that was held at the Elizabeth Public Library. I've also given some to Hunger Free here in Bayonne, where I live. So we try to do whatever we can. And even our book collection, we do a twice yearly book sale with the Friends of the Library, and the Friends afterwards advertise to the local community, especially to the teachers, to come in and take whatever they want so that nothing is wasted. And the books that are not in the greatest of condition, we definitely put into recycling. So that's it for me. And if anybody has any questions later, I'll stay on. Thanks.
Your music.
Sorry,
Okay.
I couldn't see
Sure.
the button. I
Right.
didn't unmute myself. So thank you so much, Adele. And I definitely will have a question for you about the battery part. But now I'd like to introduce Sarah, who will tell us about some pretty impressive plant and seedling swaps that I am very jealous about.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sarah Dziunycz. I thank you for your patience in advance. I had lost my voice. So if you need me to repeat anything, please just let me know. So the first plant and seed swap was actually hosted at our South County branch by an incredible adult services librarian, Rachel Saycott. And she also does fruit and veggie shows towards the end of summer and gives out blue ribbons. It's really cool. And so we wanted to replicate the seed swaps here at the Voorhees branch because Camden County Library System is 8 branches. And we have I'm happy to say that we've had success with it because for our first seed swap at Voorhees, we had 60 people come out. And it's really wonderful, a wonderful event to get to talk to the different community members because we're very fortunate that Camden County has a certified gardener program and like master gardeners. And so it's really wonderful when they come out and they have their heirloom seeds, like open pollinated seeds, the more rare varieties, and things of that nature. Like we grew in our garden, our library garden this year, Cherokee purple tomatoes. Oh my goodness, they were so delicious and they're so beautiful because they're that deep purple color with green. But I'm getting off track. I just love to talk about gardens. And with our plant and seed swaps, those also grew into a variety of other swaps, like our craft supply swap, which in 2025 we had, it was 269 attendees. And then in October, later on, we had 150 attendees. People really are excited about craft supplies, especially in light of the closing of Joann's. And it is quite the endeavor to process all of those things. So I gave some statistics, but what you're probably really interested in is how can you make this happen at your library? So I definitely recommend for your plant and seed swap to seek your swap. So that means getting together some seeds and plants yourselves. Because what we do is we will start seeds in our own library. That way we have things to share. And we're also very fortunate that we have so many green thumbs within our building. And we also welcome houseplants. And so people who have their spider plants, their pothos, they're always happy to share the little plant babies for community members. And it's just really a really fun day. I do recommend creating categories signage. That way, as donations are coming in for the plant and seed swaps, people know where to place them. And you're undoubtedly going to get people, I'm only here for the veggies, I'm only here for the herbs, or I'm only here for the flowers. So it just helps coordinate the chaos a little bit. And as Larissa was talking about earlier, sustainability, that is part of making it a sustainable practice in that it is accessible for our patrons. So we don't require a donation to participate. I know that some people do. For us, we just want to grow a community of gardeners. And the hope is that when they grow and save seed from what they get from the library, that maybe that they will share that save seed, but it's not required. We just want to grow a happy community of gardeners. And so as a youth services librarian, of course, I want to put a little spin on it to make it fun for everyone of all ages and have those hands-on activities. So what we've done in the past for our plant and seedling swap is to have a little sprout house. So I do have the link for it. It's just a little house with a window that you cut out, they decorate, but in that little window is a plastic baggie with a bean, some water, and a paper towel. And the idea is that you tape it to your window so they can see the bean actually germinate. It's just one of those really fun hands-on things. But maybe you don't have little ones, maybe you have a tween, or you even have adults who are just like, okay, I want to start seeds, but what do I start them in? Because we all know we can use toilet paper rolls and egg cartons and everything, but having a demo station of how to make paper pots out of newspapers is really effective. And also, if somebody, sometimes people will bring in donations, but they don't necessarily have a vessel to carry them out in. So it's just something handy to have on during the event. Yeah. And then we can go to the next slide. So here at Camden County, we are actually very fortunate. And if you can talk to those local agencies and organizations and see how they can partner with you. We actually here in Camden County have an Office of Sustainability. And we were able to partner, launch it in April 2024, where the branches of the library were pickup stations for the Camden County Office of Sustainability's Seed Saving Library, which is another fantastic way, because while it's great to have a seed or plant swap, not everybody can get out on those specific days. But just like we can put holds on books, the Office of Sustainability makes it possible for you to put a hold on seeds to continue growing gardeners here in South Jersey. And another thing, a fantastic part of growing that relationship with the Office of Sustainability is they have an annual plant sale. And actually this year they had leftovers, and I mean, that was really incredible, the amount of starter plants we got. So I'm just really grateful to the Office of Sustainability for their generosity and their willingness to partner with us. Another tip I have for planning your own plant and seedling swap is finding the right date. If doing just seeds, I recommend picking a date 8 to 12 weeks before you expect to plant your things out. That way, if you have things like peppers or tomatoes that take a while to germinate, or if you have just plant failures, because as I like to tell the kids, failure is an essential part of the learning process. So sometimes you're going to kill some plants. You're going to overwater them. You're going to kill some seedlings, but hopefully you can just come to the library and get more. And when we're including plants, we do like to do the weekend after Mother's Day. That way, after Mother's Day, it's usually safe to plant things out as there's no chance of frost, and we're not competing with Mother's Day weekend or Memorial Day weekend. I also highly recommend that you use your people power and utilize your team volunteers. You can have them organize the plants as they come in, because plant people are very motivated, and they want to get in and they want to start their garden and they want to get things. So they're kind of just like, where do I put this? And so you can have the team volunteers help you with that. When you're doing the event the day of, if you have 60 people, you're going to be wanting to talking to your community members, answering their questions, things like that. Have a team volunteer be an official people counter. One of the great investments we made is a little ticker. Have them assist at the stations for the Sprout House or the paper pot demos. And also, it's really handy as we had seeds come in, having the team volunteers portion them out into the seed coin envelope, or the coin envelopes, because people will be like, well, I don't want all 100 seeds of tomatoes. I'm not going to do that many. Maybe I only want 5. So it is really helpful to have those pre-portioned out, which also comes into seeding your library, is having something just in case. Oh no, what if there's nobody shows up with plants? People always show up with plants and seeds, because they're just really wonderful. And yeah, shout out to the residents of Camden County for their participation. And yeah, I am happy to answer any and all questions at the conclusion of this.
Thank you, Sarah. And I have just a couple of follow-up. That what kind of seeds do you take for the seed swap?
We take any and all seeds. So obviously here, people are always hungry for tomato seeds. But we will have and also because I'm very fortunate, a lot of my coworkers are gardeners, and so they'll be like, my family didn't care for this variety of pepper, or oh, this was too spicy, but I don't want to just throw the seed out. But we've also purchased seed to seed our seed library from Seed Savers Exchange, because they're a great one for the open pollinated. So hopefully that the people who grow these things, they can save their own seed and get it acclimated to their specific area to make stronger plants. But yeah, I can talk about that stuff all day.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So that's a really great, one of the really nice things about sustainability in general, but gardeners, especially like people who are saving seeds, is like they just want to talk about and they want to share the seeds too. And then one last question about the plants. What kind of plant, do you have any limitations on plants that you take or don't take?
No, we don't have any limitations. Because usually people are bringing in a lot of tomatoes, honestly, because you think, oh, I'll start 12, thinking only 6 will survive, and then all 12 survive. And the houseplants have been really popular, and those usually all go. But so far we haven't had any of restrictions, because I've never seen someone bring in anything invasive, like an English ivy, or something like that. But that's something to consider now for
I was just wondering. Yeah.
next year.
And I also wanted to mention that Camden County, I mean, not the county itself has a tool library, which is really it's amazing. That not that many places. There is a tool library, I think in Florida, New York. There's one in Hudson County. But I mean, just it's so impressive that there's a tool library that the public can use. Like it's a great.
I've used it myself. It has been fantastic because they do have like more expensive equipment that, oh yes, I could rent it from Home Depot, but why rent it when I can just get it for free? And yeah, no, the Camden County Tool Library is another great resource. Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go. So now we have some more gardening too, but a whole lot of other things with Melissa, who's going to be talking about working with community partners.
Hi, everyone. As I said, my name is Melissa Hozik. I'm the adult programming librarian at the East Brunswick Public Library. I've been here for almost 11 years now. I was also one of those kids who was like the crazy environmental club person that like went to the classrooms and sorted through the trash. So like this has been part of my world, and so it's just kind of made natural sense to be doing what we do. Since 2017, we started an option green series. It started off as just lectures and kind of grew from there. We are very lucky that our environmental commission here has a Friends of the Environmental Commission, which is a 501c3. They run the community garden. They helped find National Moth Week. So they have all these great things. They do free cycling twice a year in the town. And they came to us and said, let's do a program. And then it was, let's do another program. And then it kind of went all over the place and it's become this really amazing thing that I'm very excited to do. Most of the presentations or lectures are free or low cost. We love our county, our master gardeners in Middlesex County. The Camden County, you're going to have even better choices. I'm from South Jersey, so from Garden Central. We had PSE&G come and talk about different electric options for your home. Faculty from Rutgers. Rutgers is 15 minutes up the road, so we have been very lucky with that. And also lockdown helped get us people from across the state as well. So we also have a seed library. We do a plant swap that's also grown like crazy, pun intended, craft swaps, and they've all grown from this partnership. So we're very excited that we get to keep building and coming up with new things. Since lockdown, we've tried to record presentations whenever possible and make them hybrid and open to anyone. Go to the next slide. So I have just a few of the many past programs. If you go to the link, ilove.ebpl.org/options/green, you can see all of them. You know, Jersey people are really into birding, and especially if you're down in Cape May, that is the place to go. But we had people do that. Geocaching, which is still there. We were lucky that we got an ALA Resilient Communities grant that we talked about climate change and community with the state climatologist. I highly recommend him. Bring him to your library. He is absolutely fascinating. Mushroom tea, where the person actually ran around the library and found fungi and said, do not eat these. This one's probably okay, but do it with someone who knows what they're doing. Moths, rainbow workshops with the New Jersey Watershed Ambassadors. Stuff about water qualities, we've been talking about that now. Honeybees, the true cost of fashion, which was absolutely fascinating, and learning about all the horrible things that go into making clothing so cheap. And that's how swaps for clothing that are so helpful. And then our seed and plant swaps. Next slide. We've been very lucky to be recognized by the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions. They have an Environmental Achievement Award. They also have an Environmental Congress that they do it every year, and it's people from nonprofits, from libraries, from the environmental commissions themselves throughout the state, and they do some really good panels and resource sharing. We won our first one right after we started Option Green, and then 2 series that we had in the past 2 years. We did food choices for a small planet, talking about food waste, what we can do at home, what New Jersey's doing in ways of processing that, and then larger global issues. And then this year, 2 weeks ago, we just got one for WeCycle, where we brought in the Middlesex County recycling team and talked about what's the accurate way to recycle, because companies put wrong numbers on things to be kind of not good about that, and then state Department of Environmental Protection. Next slide. So one of the things that we see a lot of libraries have been doing is the craft supply swap. So it's a free cycling event where it's just art, supplies, and tools. This list is not comprehensive. I had to pull Woodridge from another future slide that Larissa had, but you can see all these libraries are already doing it. Ours is actually modeled off of Matawan Aberdeen's. And so that gives you an idea of, we've taken theirs, they're a smaller library, we are a physically larger library, and it kind of grew and grew and grew. So next slide. We have donation guidelines, because as we said, you get weird things that people donate that we really don't want. The first year we had 30 donors. The second year we had 60 donors. The third year, which was this year, we had 90 donors. So we had a whole meeting room full of stuff. We brought in volunteers to sort it, and then we usually have about 60 people come through the evening and shop like it's at Michael's or Joanne's. May she rest in peace. This is like a goldfish in a tank. You need to figure out what space you have, so determining how much you will accept, putting that space aside, making sure you have staff and volunteers, because you want it to look nice. You want to have like with like, so people aren't just digging through. We do a longer donation period because we have that flexibility, and we shop the space. We limit to 1 bag. We try to encourage people to bring their reusable bag. We just say, please don't use an IKEA one. What we also do is we let the Girl Scouts, the 4-H, and teachers also come through and take extras. At the end, they can take as much as they want. We've connected with teachers, and we only had 1 box of trash out of like 50 boxes. So yeah, it's one of those things that it doesn't cost anything other than some time and some planning. And yeah, you're going to learn about some really cool other things and unique projects.
Actually, well, before we move on, I just had a quick question, Melissa, about mushrooms. Wait, finding mushrooms in the library?
Outside the library, we have a community pond, and there's lots of trees. And so he went before the program and ran around and foraged, which was kind of crazy. I didn't know he was going to do that. He was not giving out samples, full disclosure, but he was showing like these things are growing right outside the library. These things could be growing in your yard, and how to use all of them. And there's health benefits for those too.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to hear about the word amazing is going to it has gotten used a lot tonight, but they're really, these all are amazing. And I'm very excited to hear Kim talk about the PEFF, or the Princeton Environmental Film Festival.
Thanks so much, Larissa. And you can just go to the next slide whenever, because I don't necessarily have an order. Before I go any further, I just want to say, like, I so appreciate the loving labor that goes into all of your projects. I'm just astonished by the amount of work I can imagine it takes to do everything that you guys have been doing. So huge kudos and congratulations to all of your work. And also thank you to the trustees who are here to learn about all of these amazing efforts. Normally, I write everything I'm going to say out, and I decided not to wing it, but to try and be brave and to speak a little bit more freely, since it's about the Princeton Environmental Film Festival, which is something that I've been a part of since 2010, though the festival was founded in 2006. So it's been by Susan Conlon, who retired last year. The mission of the film festival is to share exceptional documentary films and to engage the community in exploring environmental sustainability from a wide range of perspectives. One of the main things that we try to do is make sure that we're showing excellent films. But I think it's also important to note that these films, like everything that libraries do, we're really focused on our community, our greater community. So the films that will be resonate with them, that sort of tell the stories of the things that are important to members of our community. And we also find that something that's the most successful often is we will have sometimes a block of New Jersey films. And that's a place where, sometimes we'll have students, Princeton high school students or regular students coming and showing their films. And that can be wildly successful, even though there, could be a block of shorts. People are coming in and bringing their friends and family. So it can be a really wonderful event. As Larissa was saying before, libraries in themselves, even without amazing programs, libraries are inherently sustainable. We are, Rebecca Smith Aldrich will talk about how we are entrusted with funds, state taxes, as well as sometimes donor money, to put this to the highest and best use, to make sure that whatever we're buying, whether it's programs or materials, it's going to as many people as possible. So I just want to underscore Larissa's point there. And there are so many ways that people learn environmental literacy. So, that could be through our book collection or databases, but also through film. We have shown the film festival has changed in the way that we do it over the course of years. It started off as a couple of days, then it went to 2 weeks. During COVID and the increase of availability of films on things like Netflix and on demand, we've tried to adjust to what community needs and bandwidth is. So we've shortened it down for the last 2 years to be where we're just doing a concentration of in-person events over sort of a 3-day weekend, and trying to make sure that when we do these events, these are the events that we think that people are going to want to come to, the events where we will be able to bring a filmmaker to come and speak after the film, and also the films that we think that are going to sort of uplift the work of our community partners. As Melissa was saying before, I think it's really important for us as libraries, especially as everybody is looking at budget crunches, to really look at the ways that we can work with our community partners to kind of expand and amplify the work that we're all doing together. In these pictures, you can see a variety of things from the festival. This year, we decided we wanted to, we've done different things to bring young people to the festival. Sometimes we invite a sort of a rescue to come in, so it's not necessarily a film. But this year we showed Flow. I don't know if any of you have heard of that film, but it was an Oscar-winning film with no words, just animated. And we showed it and we made popcorn, and it was very messy, but people were very happy. And it was a really wonderful way to start the weekend because it's an intergenerational film. You can see there's all ages there. I didn't show the front, but at the front of the room, you can see that there's all these children there. I realize I set the timer. I'm already at my 5 minutes, so I don't want to. I don't want to overtake the time. I think that like sometimes people look at the Princeton Environmental Film Festival where we're showing, say, 8 films in person. We also have an online option because we want to be accessible. But this does cost money. The Princeton Environmental Film Festival is funded, while it's underwritten in part because the staff time is paid for as part of my job to do this, working in the library. But the funding to actually pay for the screening rights and filmmakers to come was privately raised. And so we're working off of donations that have come through. And so I think that one of the things that I want to just mention, yes, it does. Thanks, Bob. It's good that one of our board members is here. Thank you for your thing. We bring people from all over. Is that even though it can be expensive to do the film festival, like, please don't be daunted by that, because there are ways that you can have meaningful festivals. As others have said, not all things have to cost money. One thing is working with local filmmakers and seeing, highlighting those events. As I said before, these local filmmakers often bring the most successful things because it's relevant to people in their community and they want to come support. Another thing that I would want to suggest to people is to work with the POV. I don't know if people are familiar with that. It's a documentary organization under PBS, and they offer free access to their films, their seasons for free. And so you can get a free screening and you get a lot of support from them. They also do things called Delve Deepers. So you'll get like ways that they'll do reading lists that are curated by librarians. You'll get questions that you can sort of help to do a conversation after the film screening. Yeah, POV is really, really great. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Melissa. And so I'd really recommend working with them if you have the opportunity. So not everything has to cost money. The other things that I have in here, just quickly, one of the bonuses we did with the film festival, because we're trying to find lots of ways for people to plug in, was my colleague Janie Herman's idea, where we invited people to do art inspired by poetry. And so this is one of the pieces, and we displayed these in the library, and people get really excited to share their art. So really, it's about being responsive to community, trying to find ways to connect and empower people to become civically engaged around environmental issues. And thank you for giving me extra time. I'm sorry.
No, so please, could you tell us a little bit about that lower right-hand photograph? What's happening in there?
Yeah, so that's so one of the things that we do so many, like the PEFF is just one of many, many, many things that we do around environmental literacy. I wrote all these notes down of things that I wanted to say to people, like to Sarah, we should get you some Paul Robeson tomatoes that we've been given from the Paul Robeson house. But we do bird walks and we work with the Friends of Princeton Open Space. This is an Earth Day thing. It's just crafting around Earth Day. I think they were making butterflies out of paper and pipe cleaners. Yeah, Janie is pretty awesome, everybody. Thank you. I'm glad that I shouted her out because she is pretty awesome and she's our program manager here at the Princeton Public Library. Another thing we do is bird walks. That's another low-cost thing where we work with partners like the Friends of Princeton Open Space and the Friends of Herrontown Woods, and where we have people sign up. They have birders who will come, and people go out and walk in the middle of February or April, like any time of year there's birds around, whether they're kind of migrating through or the birds that are here year round, and people go, and that's another intergenerational thing. They get to learn about public spaces in your areas, any parks or fields or meadows, and you get to work with community partners. And in our library of things, we have binoculars that people can borrow.
very cool. And that lower left-hand photograph is one of your speakers?
Oh, sorry, thank you. That's so that is actually, we had Chief Vincent Mann of the Ramapo come and speak about the Superfund sites that the Ramapo tribal nations have been trying to kind of survive. From there's a documentary film called Ford versus Mann, WMANN.
Thank
It's
you.
one of the he's a member of one of the state recognized tribes.
Mhm. Thank you. So I'm going to just take us through the last few things to let people know what they'll be getting. When you get the slides, you'll get a list of also other library staff members who responded, but we couldn't put everybody in this. So people who could answer questions, including Sarah Lester, who is the director for the Maplewood Memorial Public Library that recently reopened after a really stunning renovation and reconstruction that includes a landscaping plan that has year-round interest. So there's something just happening in these plants year-round, either for plants or for people or for animals. And she will, she's happy to talk to people about construction issues for LEED certified buildings. And then some more people for craft sauce. And you can see there are a few other areas there. And those were just the main categories that we had for our survey too. And there's spotted bee balm. Spotted bee balm was one of the plants that the New Jersey Native Plant Society was promoting this past year when they have an annual sale. That's, I think you pick up your plants in May, and they were trying to push the plants that don't get as much love, like not just the black-eyed Susans, but yeah, some of the more unusual ones. Then the other library things and swaps, plant swaps, and local collaborations too. Tina Marie Duty from the Glen Ridge Public Library, she's the director there. And then here here we have all of our names and our contact information, so you can email us with any questions. And do I have this? Oh, and then the resources also links to everything that we were that our speakers mentioned, except for the POV thing. I'm going to add that. That was really, really good to hear. And I also added the Native Plant Society website. And then for anybody interested in repair cafes, this is the international organization, and also a small, but trying to be bigger, statewide group that I'm part of that's trying to promote repair cafes in New Jersey. And thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. And for our speakers too. And now I'm going to, let's see if there are any questions or comments. Oh, actually, a Canopy. Yeah, I also wanted to say that there is Canopy has a list of all of their films that can be displayed or can be shown that have public performance rights. So they have some, it's like PDF that you can see on their website. But yeah, they have some good ones there. So I don't see any questions. No, I don't see any questions. Oh, the process of joining the initiative. So, and the cost. So I confess, I'm not 100% sure about how much the annual cost is for the library would join the initiative. And I don't know how much that is, but the library would become a member of the initiative. And then for as long as the certification process, it would be, they'd have to become members, and also the certification process I think has an extra cost to it. But yeah, I don't have that information, and I should have that information. But I'm sure that there's got to be some mention of that in one of those little videos. But let's see. I also mentioned that for the Sustainable Libraries Initiative, they do ask for people they want libraries to come up with teams. Like you need to have people who are in charge of certain aspects of, like, whether it is the maintenance, who is going to be looking at what cleaning supplies you use, and do you use reusable rags, and there are going to be people in charge of staff wellness, people who are looking at your office supplies. excuse me. And so it's not, they do support you in this process, but yeah, there are also, sorry, starting to lose now, Sarah, you did fine. I'm like, I don't see, I have one other question for Adele about the battery swap or battery collection. So how did that get started? What kind of batteries are these? The ones that you're not supposed to throw out?
Actually, it was for regular, just what people consider disposable batteries. A young man from the high school, I believe it was part of an Eagle Scout project,
Mhm.
wanted to put those into a battery recycling center and to get them out of people just throwing them away.
Mhm.
So he has a collection box at our circulation desk.
Wow. Some people just have they're like a labor of love too. So, I have a question about, repair cafes. So repair cafes are really one of my favorite things ever. I ran one at the library I was at before Fort Lee for a few years, and they are it's part of this international movement to try to encourage people to repair their own things and also to be aware of the unrepairability of many things and to think before you buy something. So what it does is it pairs volunteer repair coaches, people who can sew or sharpen knives or rewire lamps, repair wood furniture, jewelry, anything really. There are people who can work on restoring old photographs or digital devices, troubleshooting things. And so Melissa said, yeah, it brought in 116 items brought into June Cafe. 98 were fixed. Okay, that is unprecedented because a lot of times you find out that like something you either just can't open it, or if you open it, you break it, or it's just not repairable. But it's usually a few hours, and the person who brings in something to be repaired stays there with the repair coach and works on that item together. And it's a way to learn more about how to repair things. I mean, a few years ago, I had one repair cafe where and sometimes you get repeat people who come and people just love coming to these things too. That somebody had repaired something for her, and then I forget whether, I think it was an extension cord. And the next time she had a problem with it, we didn't have any repair cafes coming up soon enough, and she fixed it herself. So it's really like an empowering thing, and it is a community builder. People just love it. People come in and they just hang out. And you can have somebody like we had somebody play the piano, play Beatles tunes. Like you can have somebody walk around, play the ukulele, anything like that. Landscaping plans. Okay. I would suggest if you have a green team or sustainability group in your municipality, to see if there are any landscaping people in that group, if they know of somebody who could be a certified certified sustainable landscape designer, or is just practice or working on that certification. I know that New York Botanical Garden has that program, but it's the landscaping is tough, and I would start small too, like small pockets around your library, because you also have another issue, which is the maintenance part. And municipal maintenance just, they come in and they use the leaf blowers, and they're not used to like leaving the leaves. So it can be a little challenging. I think that landscaping is really challenging. That's why I was so impressed to see this many people with just native plants. But a lot of times, you just starting up with a little small pockets, I think, are the best thing to do. Soil conservation districts, or Rutgers does have their Master Gardener program, and they also have their extension too. But I don't think they have a lot of articles on how to, but I don't know if they could advise you on, because coming up with a whole, like a design really takes a lot of skill. But yeah, the Master Gardeners, they're another place to look at. So was there anything else in the Q&A? I thought there was one more, but I think it disappeared. So if no one has any other questions, oh my gosh, we whipped through so much stuff in this hour. I'm like a little bit amazed. This is like the calorie dense version of
No, no,
webinar.
the enthusiasm, the passion for what you do is just so impressive. And all of you, I mean, the ideas are just amazing. I can't thank you enough. And I think you have piqued our interest even more about what libraries can do and what small steps libraries can do. You know, even as you mentioned, putting a container near the circulation desk to collect batteries, something like that. I'm very impressed with the clothing and the wedding dress swaps, and that. I mean, we could all clean out our attics or whatever, and maybe maybe make some donations. But I'd like to thank you, Larissa, Adele, Sarah, Kim, and Melissa. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for the time that you put into this and all of your expertise. And I'd really like to make sure that the trustees who are on tonight know that we are hoping to have a membership meeting in November. And hopefully that date will be November 12th. We'll have to clarify that, finalize things, and then publicize it so that you have some firm notification. But if there's no other questions and no other, I think we will say that Sustainability 102 was fantastic.
Yep, it was great. Thank you all very much for your presentations, and thank you to the attendees attending. And like Pat said, hopefully we will see you next month. Have a good night.
Yes, thank you. Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.